Your pantry could betray you, because when disaster strikes, these 7 grocery brands will be the first to vanish and the last to help you survive. They look normal. Their ads sound reassuring, but behind the scenes, supply chains are breaking. Ingredients are being cut, and shelf-stable survival products quietly failing inspection. Big names are playing dirty games, and in the middle of a real crisis, you'll realize too late that you trusted the wrong label. If even one of these is sitting in your stockpile right now, you might be prepping for failure. This is the video they hope you never find. Hit subscribe, because next month, these brands may already be gone. They sit on shelves across America, trusted, familiar, and deadly when it counts most. In a real emergency, these grocery brands could cripple your survival game, leaving you with spoiled food, false promises, and zero backup. You're not just buying groceries, you're buying reliability. And these companies, they're failing that test. Hard. Don't wait for the crisis to expose the truth. Learn which brands to ban before it's too late. Number 1. Great Value, Walmart's private label. At first glance, Great Value products seem like a prepper's dream, cheap, widely available, and often stocked in bulk. But when the grid fails or disaster strikes, relying on this budget-friendly brand could become your biggest mistake. Let's break it down. Walmart's Great Value line is engineered for mass affordability, not long-term reliability. Many of their canned goods, from vegetables to meats, are made with cost-cutting ingredients, lower-grade preservatives, and thinner can linings. That might not sound dangerous until you're forced to eat from that same can 2 years into a storage cycle, and the contents inside have started breaking down from the inside out. One major concern is inconsistency. Great Value sources products from multiple suppliers, often shifting manufacturers based on cost. That means the same can of green beans bought last month might have entirely different ingredients, processing methods, or shelf life than one you buy today. In a crisis, consistency matters. You need to know exactly what's in your food, how it was processed, how it stores, and how it performs under stress. Great Value removes that confidence entirely. Then there's the packaging. Many of these cans are more susceptible to corrosion over time, especially in fluctuating temperatures. We've seen reports from preppers who found rust rings inside unopened cans, even when stored properly. Add to that thinner metal, weaker vacuum seals, and minimal redundancy in quality control, and suddenly your emergency stockpile looks more like a liability than a lifeline. And the nutritional value? Let's just say it's not designed with crisis endurance in mind. A lot of Great Value items are calorie-dense but nutrient-poor, high in sugar, salt, or fillers. That's fine in normal times. But in an emergency, you'll need every vitamin, every electrolyte, and every digestible calorie to keep your body moving and your mind sharp. What should you do instead? Look for premium emergency food brands with verified shelf life data, or build your own kits with individually vetted products. You'll pay a little more upfront, but the peace of mind is worth it. Great Value might save you dollars now, but it could cost you everything when things go dark. If you're stockpiling for the long haul, make sure you're stacking survival, not shortcuts. Hit subscribe. We expose the hidden dangers they never print on the label. Number 2. Clover Valley and dollar store shelf brands. Dollar stores might feel like a prepper's gold mine. Cheap canned goods, snacks, even hygiene items all within arm's reach. But here's what most don't realize. When it comes to survival, dollar store brands like Clover Valley could sabotage your stockpile from the inside out. Clover Valley, Dollar General's in-house label, and similar off-brand items from Dollar Tree or Family Dollar are often manufactured under ultra-cheap contracts, meaning the actual source of your food might be a low-regulated factory overseas. These products are packaged to look like the name brands you trust, but they aren't held to the same ingredient standards or processing quality. In a crisis, cutting corners isn't just risky, it's dangerous. The issue starts with ingredients. Many of these budget brands are pumped full of ultra-processed fillers, corn syrup solids, hydrogenated oils, chemical preservatives, and flavor enhancers. These are cheap calorie bombs designed to sell, not sustain. Imagine trying to maintain energy and focus during a multi-day blackout, and all you've got are mystery meat hash and canned vegetables soaked in brine and food dye. You're not just underfueling, you're poisoning performance. Then comes shelf stability. While the expiration dates may claim 2 to 3 years, actual long-term storage testing shows that many dollar store cans degrade much faster. Leaky seams, weak metal, and erratic vacuum seals make them far more prone to swelling, rusting, or microbial breakdown, especially in fluctuating temps. That $1 can of beans may turn into a Petri dish before you even need it. And during a real emergency, these are the exact items most likely to be seized or redistributed first. Why? Because they're mass manufactured, easy to transport in bulk, and already associated with low-income aid programs. If the government steps in to manage supply chains during a disaster, these cheap shelf fillers could be among the first to vanish from shelves and from your own stash if authorities start rationing community supplies. What's the smarter move? Skip the dollar store and build your pantry around verified, high-integrity brands or self-stored staples like beans, rice, freeze-dried meals, and vacuum-sealed proteins. When the world's falling apart, quality is survival. Don't let a $1 price tag cost you everything. Like the video now, we reveal the shortcuts hidden in plain sight, so your prepping decisions are sharp, safe, and one step ahead. Number 3, great value. Walmart's in-house brand. It's the go-to for budget shoppers and bulk buyers alike. Walmart's Great Value line offers almost every grocery item imaginable. Canned goods, dry staples, condiments, snacks. But just because it's widespread doesn't mean it's wise to rely on it in an emergency. In fact, some of the most deceptively dangerous items in your prepping stash may wear the Great Value label. Let's break this down. First, ingredient integrity. Many Great Value items are made by third-party manufacturers under contract with frequent reformulations to cut costs. That means what's in a can of chili today may be totally different next month. You're not just getting low-cost food, you're getting inconsistency. And in a crisis, that's a gamble you can't afford. Second, storage issues. Multiple prepping forums have reported premature rusting and seal failures in Great Value canned goods, especially vegetables, fruit, and sauces. Unlike premium brands that use higher-grade metal and internal can linings, Walmart's generic line often skimps on container quality. That matters. One compromised seal during storage can turn a shelf-stable item into a breeding ground for botulism. Third, nutritional shortcuts. Many Great Value products are loaded with excess sodium, sugar, and preservatives, designed for flavor, not fuel. Their canned soups, for example, often exceed 1,200 milliliters of sodium per serving, and their fruit snacks can contain as much corn syrup as a candy bar. These aren't meals, they're liabilities. And finally, supply chain vulnerability. During the 2020 and 2021 shortages, Great Value products were among the first to vanish and the last to restock. Why? Because Walmart relies on just-in-time inventory models and sprawling global sourcing. In a true crisis, these shelves won't just empty fast, they'll stay empty. What's the better route? Use Walmart for bulk dry goods like plain oats, beans, and rice, but avoid the ultra-cheap canned goods. Opt instead for trusted emergency food brands, or stock your own jars via home canning or freeze drying. When it's your family's health on the line, reliability matters more than a cheap price tag. Prepper reminder. The best time to swap out weak links in your food storage is before they're stress tested. Take 10 minutes today to audit your pantry. What you find might surprise you. Number 4, Chef Boyardee and similar ready-to-eat pasta brands. At first glance, it feels like a prepper's dream. Shelf-stable pasta with meat, heat and eat convenience, and a recognizable brand name. But that red and yellow can of Chef Boyardee, and others like it, isn't the survival food it pretends to be. In fact, when you're relying on stored supplies to sustain you through a real emergency, this type of product could quietly become a nutritional trap. Let's look beneath the lid. Most people don't realize how shockingly low in protein these meals are. A full can of Chef Boyardee beef ravioli, for example, contains just 7 to 9 grams of protein, but nearly 900 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium and multiple tablespoons worth of simple carbohydrates. That means your body gets a fast glucose hit, but very little in the way of sustained energy or muscle fuel. In short, you'll feel full for 30 minutes, then crash. Now factor in the preservatives. These meals are built for shelf life, not health. The ingredient lists read like chemistry textbooks: disodium inosinate, monoglyceride, autolyzed yeast extract, citric acid, and flavor enhancers that add artificial taste but no nutritional value. Add in high levels of saturated fats and industrial seed oils, and you've got a can of calories your body has to work overtime to process, especially dangerous in already stressful situations. Another overlooked issue? Volume versus value. These cans are heavy, bulky, and low in usable nutrition per ounce. In a bug-out scenario, carrying 5 cans of pasta takes up more room and weight than freeze-dried alternatives or dehydrated dehydrated portioned meals. It's dead weight in your pack and a space waster on your shelf. So, what's the alternative? Prepare your own shelf-stable pasta kits with vacuum-sealed noodles, powdered tomato base, and freeze-dried beef or lentils. These kits weigh less, last longer, and give you full control over sodium and ingredients. Or stock up on military-grade MRE pasta entrees, designed for endurance, not nostalgia. Nostalgia has no place in survival prep. Just because it reminds you of childhood doesn't mean it belongs in your crisis pantry. Rethink every item, not for taste, but for performance. Number 5. Dinty Moore Beef Stew. If there's one canned food that seems tailor-made for emergency shelves, it's Dinty Moore Beef Stew. It promises protein, calories, and that hearty feel we all crave in a crisis. But peel back the label, and you'll find that this stew is far from survival gold. It's a ticking nutritional time bomb. Start with the macronutrient imbalance. One can boast over 800 calories, but not in a good way. More than half of those calories come from fat, and we're not talking about healthy fats here. The stew is packed with saturated fat and processed beef fat, which clogs your arteries and leaves your digestive system sluggish. In an emergency, that kind of heaviness isn't just inconvenient, it can become dangerous. Next is the staggering sodium level, well over 1,200 milligrams per can. Combine that with preservatives like sodium nitrite, modified cornstarch, and textured soy protein, and you're looking at a chemical stew more than a beef stew. These additives extend shelf life, but they also strain your kidneys, mess with your blood pressure, and increase your water dependency, an absolute no-go in survival situations where hydration is already scarce. What's worse? The illusion of substance. The chunks of meat are tiny and often more gristle than muscle, while the potatoes are overly soft, waterlogged, and nutritionally depleted. You think you're buying sustenance, but what you're really getting is a bloated mix of filler, salt, and artificial flavor. In prepping, every ounce matters. Dinty Moore cans are heavy and inefficient. For the same weight and space, you could store dehydrated beef chunks, vacuum-sealed potatoes, and real vegetable bouillon, giving you far more meals with actual nutritional value and zero waste. And here's the kicker: quality degradation over time. Many preppers don't realize that stew cans like this can lose their texture and taste well before the printed expiration. A slight dent, a hot storage shed, or simply time passing too long, and your hearty meal becomes slop with a metallic aftertaste. Prep smarter, not heavier. If your emergency food supply feels like a cement block in your gut, you're doing it wrong. Cut the dead weight, literally, and choose food that works with your body, not against it. Number 6. Chef Boyardee Pasta Meals. It's marketed as a quick, kid-friendly comfort food, but in an emergency, Chef Boyardee might be one of the most deceptive survival foods you can stock. Don't let the red label and familiar nostalgia fool you. This canned pasta isn't just nutritionally bankrupt. It could actively sabotage your energy, hydration, and immune system when you need them most. Start with the obvious. It's mostly sugar, starch, and salt. A single can of beef ravioli packs 800-900 milligrams of sodium, minimal protein, and a shocking amount of refined carbohydrates. And what kind of carbs? Not whole grains, not complex fuel, but white flour and corn syrup solids designed to spike your blood sugar and leave you crashing an hour later. In a real crisis, energy highs and lows can drain your decision-making, weaken your alertness, and push your body into stress mode. Then there's the questionable meat content. Don't be fooled by beef in the title. Look at the label. You'll find textured vegetable protein, mechanically separated meat, and soy derivatives filling the gap. These aren't high-protein survival calories. They're lab-engineered fillers that deliver bulk without true nutrition. Add in artificial flavorings, preservatives like citric acid and calcium chloride, and you're basically eating chemically enhanced pasta soup with a dash of branding. Worse yet is the storage risk. Chef Boyardee cans may claim a long shelf life, but their contents don't always hold up. Over time, the acidic tomato base can corrode the can lining, especially in fluctuating temperatures. That means your so-called backup meal could turn into a bloated, leaky mess, or worse, harbor botulism risk if damage goes unnoticed. And let's talk about size to value. These cans are bulky, heavy, and calorie light, especially when compared to freeze-dried meals, dry pasta with real sauce powder, or even lentils and quinoa. You're sacrificing storage space for something that offers less performance and more preservatives. The psychological trap here is real. Brands like this prey on the idea of familiarity during chaos, but preppers can't afford to eat with their feelings. In a real crisis, you want fuel, not fake Italian night. Lesson? Cut the comfort food illusion. Chef Boyardee isn't survival food. It's a shortcut meal made for microwaves, not grid-down grit. Dump the can. Build your own pasta kits with vacuum-sealed noodles, dried sauce, and shelf-stable Parmesan. It'll taste better, store longer, and actually help you survive. Number 7. Off-brand value canned tuna. It sounds like the ultimate budget prep. Cheap canned tuna loaded into your emergency pantry by the dozen. But here's what most people miss. Not all canned tuna is created equal, and the off-brand, ultra-discount options are the ones you need to watch like a hawk. In a crisis, these cans might not save you. They might cost you. Let's start with what's inside. The lowest-tier tuna brands often contain skipjack or blended cuts, not the higher quality albacore or yellowfin you think you're buying. These bargain cans are frequently packed with soy oil or vegetable oil, which degrade faster and reduce the protein to fat ratio you're counting on. That means less muscle fuel, more rancid risk. But it gets worse. Several off-brand tuna cans come from factories in regions with minimal oversight, where mercury levels, contamination, and even mislabeling are rampant. That tuna might be another fish entirely. And in emergencies, when you're eating from limited supplies, any added toxins, especially heavy metals, become dangerous fast. You're not just risking a stomach ache, you're risking long-term organ damage. Another issue? Shelf integrity. Budget brands cut costs by using thinner can linings and poor quality seals. That means if those cans sit for years in inconsistent storage conditions, you're looking at bulging, rusted, or even leaky containers. One bad can during a crisis can spark food poisoning when medical help isn't even an option. Still not convinced? These cans also lack versatility. Many of them are flavored with mayo, spices, or sauces that contain artificial ingredients and preservatives, not exactly ideal for prepping. A proper survival pantry needs flexible ingredients, not pre-seasoned traps. What should you do instead? Opt for vacuum-sealed, water-packed tuna from reputable brands, especially those labeled as dolphin-safe and tested for mercury. These offer higher protein, longer shelf stability, and a cleaner burn for energy. Or better yet, diversify your protein. Include sardines in olive oil, salmon, or even freeze-dried seafood, which offer more nutrients and less risk. Reality check? The cheap can might be your most expensive mistake. In survival, there's no such thing as a small gamble when it comes to food safety. Don't let budget thinking sabotage your long-term health. When the shelves are empty, quality matters more than ever. Number 8. Bulk pancake mixes with hidden kill switches. At first glance, those massive bags of pancake mix look like a prepper's dream. Cheap, filling, long shelf life, and a comfort food in stressful times. But here's what most people don't realize. Some of these mixes come with a hidden kill switch that could make them completely useless when you need them most. Let's talk about the first problem: required ingredients. Most bulk pancake mixes need eggs, milk, or oil to function properly. In a disaster scenario, do you really think you'll have access to fresh eggs or milk? Without them, the mix turns into a doughy, flavorless disaster, if it even cooks properly at all. It's basically useless unless you've also stockpiled the right extras, which most people don't. Then there's the shelf stability trap. Many low-cost pancake mixes contain hydrogenated oils or powdered dairy, ingredients that go rancid quickly if not stored in airtight containers. One rip in the bag, one humid month, and that 25-year shelf life fantasy evaporates. What you're left with is a pest-attracting, mold-prone, bacteria-friendly powder. And here's the part almost no one talks about: allergenic mold spores. If your pancake mix contains baking soda and dairy solids, it becomes a prime breeding ground for mold once exposed to moisture or air. In past cases, people have reported violent allergic reactions from consuming expired or compromised mixes, everything from nausea to full-on anaphylaxis. Imagine discovering that during a blackout with no hospital access. So what's the smart move? If you must include pancake mix in your stockpile, opt for a just-add-water version from a reputable emergency food supplier. These are specifically designed for prepping, with longer shelf life, oxygen barriers, and fewer spoilable ingredients. Better yet, learn how to make your own dry mix with powdered egg and milk substitutes, vacuum sealed in Mylar bags. Here's the truth: convenience now can mean catastrophe later. In survival mode, you need food that performs under pressure, not something that turns toxic or useless when you're low on fuel, water, or storage. Don't let that innocent bag of mix be the weak link in your prepping chain. Number 9. Natural juice brands that aren't so natural. In a crisis, hydration is everything, but trusting the wrong juice brand can quietly turn your emergency stockpile into a nutritional disaster. On the surface, these bottles look safe, plastered with buzzwords like natural, 100% juice, no added sugar, and even immune support. But flip the label and you'll find a different story. One filled with preservatives, flavor packs, and reconstituted concentrates that have more in common with soda than real fruit. Let's break this down. Most shelf-stable juices are made from concentrates that have been boiled, stripped of fiber, flash-preserved, and then reflavored with artificial aroma packs to mimic the taste of fresh juice. That's right, what you think is pure apple or real orange is often a Frankenstein blend engineered in a flavor lab. These juices are acidic, high in natural sugar, and dangerously dehydrating when consumed in large quantities, especially when clean water is limited. Now add the preservatives. Sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, and citric acid are added to extend shelf life, but they don't extend your health. Over time, these additives can irritate the gut lining, trigger inflammation, and even disrupt liver function. In a long-term survival situation where your immune system is already stressed, that's a liability you can't afford. But the real kicker? Sugar. Even juices labeled no sugar added can pack 25 to 35 grams of sugar per serving. That's nearly as much as a can of soda. And unlike whole fruits, juice lacks fiber to slow the absorption, leading to blood sugar spikes, crashes, and long-term energy drain. And don't forget about storage. Juice cartons and plastic bottles are vulnerable to heat fluctuations, UV exposure, and slow leaking seals. That innocent bottle in your pantry could be spoiled long before the expiration date, turning into a moldy, sour health hazard when you least expect it. So what should smart preppers do instead? Store powdered electrolyte mixes, freeze-dried fruits, or make your own infused waters using dried lemon, ginger, or mint. These options are lighter, more versatile, and won't spike your blood sugar. Even better, they let you control your flavor, sugar, and nutrient intake on your terms. Watch your labels and think twice before trusting anything in a natural bottle. In survival, hydration should heal, not harm. In an emergency, your food isn't just fuel, it's your lifeline. And trusting the wrong brands, the wrong packaging, or the wrong promises can sabotage everything you've worked to prepare. These grocery items may look familiar, even harmless, but in a real crisis, they'll fail you fast. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but when it counts most, they'll break down, spoil, or leave your body weaker than it should be. So start now. Reevaluate every shelf. Replace the fake convenience with real resilience. Because prepping isn't just about what you have, it's about what you trust. If this video opened your eyes, don't just walk away. Hit that thumbs up, share it with someone you care about, and drop a comment. What item shocked you most? And if you're serious about staying ready in 2025 and beyond, subscribe, because next week we're exposing even more survival lies hiding in plain sight.